it seems like this is one of those things that's going to take more time, and they're going to go do underground drilling. I don't think that underground drilling is going to be like, wow, it's crazy. I think what's really going to cause the impetus here is once they put out a more inclusive resource and have made progress on all these fronts. I mean, they are doing, it seems like, a lot of things at the same time. But, permitting, underground development, resource upgrade, with PEA feasibility, it's kind of all stacked on top of each other. So they can make good progress on all those things. But I think everyone's kind of waiting for, getting the resource, because they put 5 holes in. I guess 2 of the, I didn't remember exactly what happened, but the lady there reminded us that, so 2 of the holes missed, 3 of the holes hit pretty decent, but only 1 really hit like the ore chute. The other ones they all hit high grade, but some of them are narrower. So then you have to factor in dilution to figure out what your average grade is going to be. So I think that, to get to a better understanding and comfort on the resource, I think they're comfortable with it, but, I think the market is still kind of discounting it. In terms of the eventual potential, but if they can get to 50 million ounces, at good grades with copper credit, and if they're going to do a hydrometallurgical plant, then you have, antimony as well, then I think that could be pretty substantial, because there's probably exploration potential there. I think the amount of modern drill-based exploration there is very, very minor. So if this is truly a district, which I think the old iron mines and things like that would indicate that there's a very substantial, amount of mineralizing activity that took place, then, whether it's to depth or out to the side or other veins or whatever, I mean, that could continue to operate for a long time. But to me, the key is, and a lot of the time to make these really, really, so you can have a mine, but does it make a lot of money? I think what you have to look at is find some really high-quality ore chute. I don't care if it's 40 million ounces. I'd rather have 15 million ounces all in one ore body that you can mine and go into and don't have to do huge amount of extra development. You cut across the ore body, you put your stopes in, and then you do your levels. You go down or you go from the bottom up, and you just mine the whole darn ore chute over 5 or 7 years. And that's really that's how the Silver Valley. That's pretty much all of the major veins and ore chutes. That's what made the money. The rest of the stuff is kind of struggling along to, you can have a little bit here and there, but the main big ore chutes like Sunshine Vein and Chester and, Lucky Friday now with Hecla and, even at the Bunker Hill where they were going through, there's some very amazing ore bodies in there, and that, that's what makes it. That's what makes these projects compelling, is a lot of high-grade mineralization in one compact area, where you don't have to go and develop these huge shaft and this and that everywhere else. It's kind of in one area, so you can kind of plan it all out that way. So that's what I would kind of look to. And it does look like there's some areas in this mine where there's obviously these chute type things where what you want to see really is it opens up and it goes higher in grade. And that was a quality that a lot of the Silver Valley mines that were the legendary ore bodies, is not only did it go from a few centimeters wide to meters wide, but the grade was as good, if not better, in many cases when it did that. So that's kind of the key. But I think it's worthwhile following it because. But I guess one of the things is to understand. So this Esperanza is some of the same people that are now no longer at Esperanza that were salting in effect and are on the board of Global Minerals. So what is that going to? You'd want those people to continue because they're all old Sunshine Mine people, which the geology and the processing are going to be probably pretty similar to what happened in Sunshine. So I guess we probably should understand, how that relationship is going to continue now that Esperanza has basically, replaced that team with a mine building and mine operating team, because these guys are for the most part exploration, but several of them, Sunshine was an active mine when they all worked there, so, but I guess it is different than a, open pit heap leach mine in Mexico, which is the main asset Esperanza has. So I think there's some work to do there. I think, there's probably some value at the right time. And there's probably value there now if you're willing to wait, for the developments to take place. Do you have any other thoughts or feedback on that?
I'm just surprised you didn't bring up the Russians.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, I guess, you know, we've already talked about that, but so I don't think that's really, you know, that's necessary. But I guess to put it in somewhat of a not so crude way, you know, so there's a question as to who it is and how the mine was originally developed. Was it by the Slovaks or the Russians or the Soviets or what type of whatever? It really doesn't matter to me. The point is that it's done under relatively modern standards. So that's the point I was trying to get across. And I probably didn't come across the right way, but wasn't trying to say that some person's mining methods or abilities are better than other people's. I was just simply pointing out that that the system used was a modern system. This is not a 500-year-old mine with ratty, underground development.